99.5 here in Accra, 98.5 in Kumasi, 100.3 in Cape Coast, and 99.7 in Tamale. The show is live on Twitter or X, also on Facebook as Asaase 99.5. As I said, you can send me your comments over there. Also, you can reach me on 055 2610 434. I'll also be bringing out the other line so you can send us your comments or whatever you want to share with us on the show. But I've got my guest today. We're starting with the tennis competition. That's the Fine Water Social Tennis Competition. We're going to talk to you about what you need to know about this competition. What at all is social tennis competition? Who are the people behind this competition, behind Fine Water? And today I've got in studio Josephine Armah. He is the event organizer and also Fine Water CEO in studios, and also Kwame Asamoah-Yeboah is a deputy event organizer as well. Let me welcome them. Welcome, Mr. Ni and Asamoah. You're welcome to Team Talk.
Thank you,
Thank
boss.
you very much.
How has it been? How has the week been for you?
It's been great.
Can you get close to your mic for me? Yeah.
It's been great, and this is the second edition, so we've been managing, and then we hosted a very nice tournament in the first edition, and hopefully this is going to be better.
When was that?
Last year.
Last year, right. But first of all, for the uninitiated, what's social tennis? I mean, in tennis, we know there's one for professional players that they play, that the GTF also play. What at all is social tennis? People who don't really know about this.
Okay, so social tennis often is people of higher age bracket, people who are not able to play the professional tennis any longer, and then but they still want to be in tennis, and they play for social reasons, for networking and for friendship, and as a form of exercise. So anybody who is not on tour, who is not playing professional, plays social tennis.
Right. Now tell us about the whole event now for this year. Fine Water Classic Open. When is it coming up? Who can play in this competition, and how do you go about it?
Okay, Wiredu.
Yeah.
So with the Fine Water Classic Open this year, we are starting on the 21st of February.
Okay.
So that's this coming Friday. And then we'll be having the first round of matches. So it's a weekend-only competition. We are playing it on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And as he explained earlier on, these are social players. And social players are people working, so we have a lot of corporate people in there.
Yeah.
So the weekends are a bit more manageable for them as compared to having them on the weekday. And then, so we'll be doing the 21st, that's a Friday, so that weekend. And then the following weekend, that's the first to third weekend. That will be for the second round of the matches.
Okay.
And
So
then
you'll be playing
subsequent weekends
on weekends only.
And so Friday, Saturday,
the
Sunday.
rounds.
Yeah.
So the first one comes off on the 21st,
Yeah.
and then the next
Next
weekend
one is the
it
next
continues
weekend.
like that.
And then
So how long is it taking? Is it
So we are doing 4 weekends.
four weekends?
Yeah. And then the final will be after is a Friday. So that's what we call the Friday night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What's special for this year's event? Obviously, it's for both men and women who want to participate in this. But before you answer that, how do people? I mean, what's the level of participation in this competition so far? After the first year, how did it go?
So the first year, last year, we did it. We opened it up to only 32 players. So it was just it's a round, knockout thing.
Yeah.
This year we've expanded it because of the kind of enthusiasm people showed last year. So this time we are doing 106 players.
Wow.
Yeah. So for men. And then the 32 for the ladies. This is the first time we are doing for the ladies. Last year they held us at ransom that we couldn't organize for them.
That was unfair.
So this year we are adding our ladies to it. So that's what we are doing. So we are increasing the numbers. So there will be more fun, more engagement, more people coming around to make it.
That's very, very good for this competition. So on the 21st, and it's coming off at Ghana Lawn Tennis Club at Abraka. Yes. The same exact venue from last year.
Yes.
Okay, now to the main sponsors, Fine Water. What's been your role in tennis in the country? What was behind the inspiration behind this whole event for you, Fine Water?
Okay, for Fine Water, as a corporate institution, we were looking at sports that the youth plays most, and then we realized apart from football, tennis is one game you have a lot of young people playing. So we decided, I'm a tennis player myself, so we decided to push our support to the sports, especially the lesser finance sports, and that's where we are coming to support.
So I mean, aside from this, do we have any other partnership or any form of partnership with the GTF, any way of support to the federation?
Oh yes, Fine Water has always partnered the GTF. We always partner them in their programs, and then we have their blessing to organize these tournaments, and we've been partnering to do so many events. All African Games, we were there to partner them. We've come along very good in the way of sponsorship.
And I mean, I guess it's been a very good relationship with the federation so far with what's been going on. Right. So Mr. Asamoah, so how do I get on board for this competition if I want to?
It's opened up to anybody who is social. Even if you held rackets yesterday and you want to come and play, you can come along. So we're doing a registration on our website. The name
www.playinggame.com.
www.playinggame.com. Yeah. So if you are listening and you want to be part of this big competition, Fine Water Classic Open Tennis Competition for social players, as is mentioned, is www.playinggame.com. Just go over there, and what can you find over there? What are the basic, information that you have to put out or that requires for you to register for this?
Okay, so when you go there, you find the tournament there, the Fine Water Classic Open there, and then you see register now. You click and follow the procedures. You enter your name, your phone number, and your tennis club, and then you fill the form and you submit.
So you have to have a tennis club affiliated to a tennis club before you can participate.
Not necessarily. Okay. But most people play in a tennis club or a tennis court. Yeah. If you don't have a tennis club, you can put where you play, the tennis court you play in there.
Let me ask this. Amongst all the clubs in probably in Accra, which one of them do you find very competitive? I know Ghana Tennis Club is very, very popular among, and also the other ones. But which one of them has been very, very competitive for you? And can you talk about last year's winner? Yeah. Where did it come from?
The Kings Tennis Club. That's a young club, but they had a good player who played very well and happens to win. The second runner came from Ghana Tennis Club. For he was tipped to win the competition, but unfortunately for him, he couldn't make it. But you see, Ghana Tennis Club is the first. Yeah. In fact, when Kwame Nkrumah decided to play tennis, he formed Ghana Tennis Club. That's why we have the name Ghana Tennis Club. And then it is the best because it is the first, and also it is the best in the country, arguably.
Well, big ups to Aaron Egley.
Yes.
Aaron is now part of the...
Aaron is the captain of Ghana Tennis Club.
Wow.
You see, he is here with you. So, he joins the best club.
Yeah, of course.
In fact, if you want to play tennis,
as Kwame Nkrumah did,
you have to come to Ghana Tennis Club.
Yeah. Let's maybe this year they will pop up again and bring another winner. But what's the expectation for you as the organizers this year? What's the expectation?
Yeah, okay, so this year, as we said earlier, because we've expanded the numbers, so we are creating a carnival atmosphere. So it's not just those who are going to play. Anybody can walk in there, just come watch, have fun. There will be food, there will be drinks, there will be music, there will be a lot of networking, because when you have numbers, people around, then you can, if you are smart enough, you can get a lot of business going on around. Yeah.
People say that tennis is a game for the rich. I mean, I guess.
It's true to a good extent.
Yeah, so it's a very good place to socialize.
Yeah. You meet CEOs there, and you have access to them. You walk into the office, you sit at the reception for hours. But I'll get there and I'll walk in straight away because we have a common ground. We play tennis or we socialize. So it's a good place to come.
So guys, that's a major. I mean, benefit of being part of tennis. It's a very good ground to link up with people. You can never have the opportunity to meet them on a regular day. So I mean, I'm personally encouraging people who are into tennis to take the advantage of this competition, and I also believe that it's gonna bring a lot of success. I've seen the artwork here. What are the other partners for this event? Can we give them a mention?
Okay, so the main sponsors are Fine Water.
Fine Water.
Yeah, and then we have
the CEO here.
Yeah. So. And we have Hollard. Okay. Hollard Insurance. You know, they are one of the top companies when it comes to insurance in Ghana. They are also giving us a lot of support. We have Edge SNS. It's a company that does printing and then general supplies. And then we have Benny GH. He's one of the topmost photographers around. So if you've seen previous years, the pictures that came out, I mean, it was talk of town in the tennis fraternity. Yeah. And it's the handiworks of Benny
He has his work on the GTF and
the international ITF. He does photography for them.
Yeah.
And then we have Suvad Transport and Tour Limited. And then we have Dunlop, the ball manufacturers.
Yeah.
And then
for the tennis
stuff. Tennis
ball manufacturers.
So these are the companies. And we are still welcoming people on board to come add up to it, because if the support is solid, we have a better experience, because we are looking to give one of the best experience in tennis.
And so subsequently, in the near future, what's the target for this competition? Is there anything special lined up, especially from Fine Water?
Yes, basically, we social tennis is scattered everywhere, and then from last year what we played, we created a ranking out of it. So at least when it comes to social tennis, also just like it's done in the world ranking, we've ranked the social players. So if you're a good player, if you know you play good tennis, you are supposed to be ranked. You must know your position in Ghana when it comes to social tennis. And then so that is one thing we have introduced. And then in the near future, we are looking at creating other tournaments. Like this is singles. Yeah. We're looking at creating doubles tournaments and other tournaments and moving to other regions and doing more things. Of course.
Very well. What about plans for other sports? Do you have plans like that? Yeah, I know you love tennis, and probably tennis is your first go-to sport. But any other plans for other sports? I know basketball. Yeah, it's also doing well among the youth as well.
Yes. If they confront us, I think we'll meet and discuss and see how best we can also help them.
Mm-hmm. Very well. So, I mean, we'll have to wrap up, but any final comment from you, a message to people out there who are interested and want to join this Fine Water Classic Open? Any thoughts? Then we'll wrap it up.
I think we give you the website link.
Okay.
Not everybody can have easy access to it, so Neil give us a number.
Okay.
So you can give him a call if you're having any challenge. If you have interest, you give him a call. He'll direct you on how to get yourself registered. The numbers are increasing quite quickly, so we encourage people to do it ASAP and not wait for the last minute thing.
Well, so how many? I mean, do you have now?
We have numbers 40 plus.
40 plus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The draw will be on Wednesday, so we have now till Wednesday morning when registration will close.
Okay.
So people will have to register.
Wednesday on 18th of February.
Yeah.
That's the deadline for registration. So the number.
The number is 0244 688 709.
Again, please.
0244 688 709.
So that's the number to call if you're interested in the Fine Water Classic Open Tennis Tournament for men and women singles competition starting on 21st February for for the next 3 weekends, that is the competition for you. And then make sure to join this competition, and I hope you enjoy yourself as well as tennis play. So thank you very much, Mr. Niyama and Kwame Asamoah-Yeboah, for joining us today and making this show part of your day today. We hope to do more with this competition, and we also hope to, cover it when it starts. So, if you have any other comments to make, we'll wrap it up here.
Yes, we want to invite everybody. It's tennis, it's sports, so the family can be there with the children to come and have a good feel of tennis. Unlike other sports where the prize money is shared among the whole team, in tennis the winner takes all. So if you are choosing a sport, choose right.
Yeah, but you see, it demands a lot too.
It demands a lot.
Individual sports.
It demands
you have to work really, really hard.
Really hard to be at the top.
Yeah.
So we invite everybody. There will be food bazaar. There will be music. It will be fun. So if you're not doing anything over the weekend, pass by from next week Friday, and then for subsequent week we will be around to host you.
Of course. Is that Asamoah?
Yeah, I think Ni has said everything. So we're expecting everybody around. Let's come have a good time.
All right, so guys, go there, have a good time. Make sure you register for the competition. Deadline is on Wednesday, and talk to them as well. The number has been put out already, so make sure you join them. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you later.
Thank you too.
Back to football discussions in Ghana. A lot of things happening, and we have Felix Remark back on the show as well. It's been a long time. Felix,
yeah.
Sorry, where you good day?
We did.
Where you good day?
Long time.
And long time, and we miss you. But it's a very good time for you to come back on the show.
Charlie.
You know why I'm asking this?
I know, pa.
Yesterday I was listening to a show, and you were mentioned about your experience in hooliganism.
Yes.
No, not to remind you of
not at all.
The bad memories.
Not
but
at all.
I think it's fair that we'll bring you on board and share the experience and tell us behind the scenes what's really happening, and why it's necessary for us to talk about this. Yeah.
You see, for journalists who have the opportunity of having a microphone, be it radio or sitting behind a TV, we have a huge voice. Because, Princeton, if you talk about hooliganism, I think that journalists have had their equal share of being attacked at matches. And if you've ever been a victim of hooligans at our Premier League centers, you would see why it is important that we should be the driving force for reforms to our games. I have been attacked at the Golden City Park in Brekum.
Okay.
I was attacked at the Najimambedu Park in Doma.
So it's not once.
I've been attacked at the Lenklen Sports Stadium Boise. So, and in fact, the last one was in 2017, myself and James.
Yeah.
So when you go online and you search my name, so that was one of the things that will pop up. Myself and James. So at a point we decided, you know what, these venues it's not worth it, because see, for you to get to Doma on a match day, it's an extreme sport on its own. The day we're going, let me tell you maybe one or two what happened.
Mm-hmm.
In Doma, we took a bus from Accra to Sunyani, and that was 7 hours. And then you take another car from Doma to Sunyani, from Sunyani to Brekum, and then from Brekum to Doma. That's how the trip is. And the most annoying thing is, from Sunyani to Brekum, the number of speed ramps on the road, but the road is quite good.
Okay.
So we got to the match day, and then as media persons, we had our GFA, media card.
Yeah.
So that gets you access to the media arena. We got there and the people like, it's full up. And we said, okay, fine. We are ready to buy tickets for the VIP. They said no. We said, okay. Then we want to buy a ticket to go and sit in the stands and work. Somebody was like, no, these people, they are from Accra. And that game was between Hearts of Folk and Diana Stars. Charlie, they said they won't allow us to enter the stadium. They were pushing us. Charlie, somebody took my bag and my laptop. I had to hold the bag.
Hey.
Charlie. Then some blow at the back of my head. Because see, you can do anything, but I'm not going to leave my MacBook laptop.
Charlie, your MacBook there.
No way.
So the match didn't even start.
No.
Before
it was when people were getting into the stadium. So when I showed my card, myself and James, we were allowed into the stadium. But now we need to get access to where we have to go and sit and work.
Yeah.
And that was the issue. Unfortunately, at that particular time, the venue media officer wasn't around. So it was later when everything was going on. Hey, and then the guy was like, oh, they are media. So the guy had to come and say, push it somewhere, myself and James. Then we had to go and sit in the midst of Adriana fans. But we didn't mind. So at that point, we decided, Charlie, we won't even speak the Ghana language for somebody to know we are from Accra to work. In Brekum, if you've ever been to the Brekum Golden City Park, it's just a small tunnel to the stadium for everybody. The media, yes. And then the stands are not even in good condition. So I was there, James was sitting somewhere, and then I had a call from Tony Beverly. He was on radio. The game was running, so he wanted to find out from me, what was happening at the Golden City Park. It was a game between Hearts and Brekum Chelsea. I was running commentary. I was like, we've played 82 minutes and it's been an intense game. Both teams are questioning officiating. And somebody was like, report to Charlie, they literally dragged me from the stadium. There's this guy who sells check. Fried rice back then, it was check in front of the stadium. And the guy, they took me right there, and the guy was like, I should come down, I should just sit here. And in fact, the game didn't even end. The referee stopped the game somewhere 80-something minutes. In Obuasi, we were denied entrance. I was speaking Ghana with James, and in all this, I traveled with James. So we basically went to every Premier League venue. I was in WOW when WOW Stars won the league. Okay. Their final game was WOW Stars versus Aduana Stars. I was there. In Obuasi, it took a soldier man to save us. And the guy saved us because we were speaking the Ghana language. And the guy was like, Charlie Nyejegan. And the guy went like, Charlie, they are media men. They are from Accra. You can't deny. Charlie, and going to Obuasi, you take a flight to Kumasi. The road to Obuasi was bad.
Yeah, that one did.
Princeton, these are some of the experiences that you kind of get when you go to a league center. So you know what? When we started covering the league, at the end of the season, we'll write a match report, like a seasonal report, and present it to the PLB boss back then, Abra Pia. We'll tell him how the season went. And then we had flash points of venues that were not friendly for games, not friendly for supporters, not friendly for the match officials, and even the players. And I quite remember one of our reports, we listed the Golden City Park, the Robert Mensah Stadium in Cape Coast, the Doma, the Nana Jumambedu Park, the Lenklen Sports Stadium. These were venues that were very, Charlie, I don't think that we need to approve such venues for games if we don't have proper security.
Right.
So, Princeton, if you've been at the forefront, and I quite remember, you know, Godfred Akoto.
Yeah.
When I came back, I think from the Doma incident, and I told him, Charlie, the kind of slaps and punches I received, he told me, oh, that's the badge of honor you get when you want to cover the Ghana Premier League.
Really?
Do you know that he has a 15-inch wound on his body?
Really?
Yes. He was beaten at Brekum, the Golden City Park. Godfred Akoto woke up at a hospital. He woke up at the hospital. So these are the things that, these are journalists though. People who just go there to go and give mileage to the league. So Princeton,
it's not a fair, I mean, it's been happening.
It's been happening. So you see, I wasn't surprised that it happened in Xtra, but I was disappointed that somebody had to lose his life. But you see, we were getting there because there's been attack on players, on match officials. There's been gunshot at the Golden City Park before. We saw Kotoko losing the eye. We've seen RTU getting their bus attacked. We've seen Tamale City getting their bus attacked. We have even seen a coach, Maxwell Kunedu, being attacked.
Last season.
Yes. So, Princeton, if you look at the accumulation of all this, we were getting to a point where somebody would lose his life. Yeah. And it's rather unfortunate that it has to be poorly.
Please hold on. Let's bring in Julius Emunah. You know, he used to work with the, in fact, he works with the FA.
Yeah.
Now as head of competitions.
Yes.
And CAF Safety and Security Consultant. Julius, if you can hear me, welcome to Team Talk. Hello, Julius.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Hi, welcome. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
I mean, since this happened, a lot of decisions have been made, a lot of meetings have been done with GFA and the clubs as well. From your point of view, what's been the discussions and the resolutions from this situation or incident?
Thank you very much, and let me use this opportunity to say good morning to your listeners, to your panelists, and also to especially our teaming football loving public. First of all, I want to say it was an unfortunate incident. It's an incident that has hit the football ecosystem very hard. We are actually, for me personally, as head of competitions, I also feel that the loss of such a soul, and not just a fan, but a fan who was actually representing what we want football supporting or football fanatism to get to, was actually building to that level. Because if you remember, the message that we preached at Congress this year was to bring back the 12th man, which we all appreciate. For some time now, had been on the downside. So one of our engagements, in fact, with all the clubs, almost every week, is how to improve upon fan engagement and other things that we can do to bring the fans to the stadium. And it's just one person who was very passionate about making sure the supporters go to their stadium is Frimpong, aka Pony. And even just before his demise, had made a public statement that the next home match of Kotoko was going to make sure that the stadium is half full. Personally, they have set up a committee to make sure that the stadium is half full. Using such a soul who has a sense of belonging to the club, which we all believe is where our fans' perception might get to. It's very unfortunate and very sad. So first of all, I want to wish condolences to the Kotoko family, the football family, and the immediate family of our brother. To answer your question, yes, of course. I mean, as a very responsible football association, we believe that in as much as we set in place sporting direction and sporting protocols to guide our football in liaison with all our stakeholders, which includes the police, we also need to, in cases like this, do further engagement to forestall its future reoccurrence. Let me add that an incident of fan brawl or fans clashes is insignificant in our game. When we are addressing hooliganism or safety and security issues in an ecosystem, it's important to profile the challenges. The challenges of safety and security in Ghana over time has been invasion into the field of play, attack on players, attack on referees, especially attacks on referees takes the height in terms of the number of misconducts. And there are few instances of clashes among supporters. You hardly get cases of supporter clashes. Most often, it's home supporters against match officials, home supporters, in some cases against awaiting players or the visiting players. So in preparing protocols or in ensuring, putting in place measures that would improve upon the safety of all the stakeholders, you take into cognizance the profile of your challenges. Our challenges may be different from that of the UK when they were coming out of serious issues of hooliganism. Their challenges was mostly 85% fan clashes. So their approach to which they will address their problem will be different from how we solve our problem. We tried, and we are still working on it, to try and improve upon, number one, the infrastructure aspect of the security. That is why across Africa, we are one of the few countries that introduced what we call the safe zone into our stadium infrastructure, because we felt it was a peculiar problem to us, in a sense that if we allow teams to still do drop-off in an open space where everybody has access to their buses and access to the referees, and in that place also gives access to match officials and the dressing room area, it will embolden the continuous acts of attack on players and officials. So that is how come we brought that. You are aware, and as I know, a lot of you don't sometimes agree, we still watch football behind fences, which is at 12 feet, which is something that we've gone past that stage where we should be watching football in cages, because you watch in another jurisdiction and then there is no inner perimeter fence. But it's because of our typical challenge that we have, that easily fans are entering into the field, and we will not also have the luxury of having enough stewards and police because of the issues we have in this country. So I always want us to look at issues based on the context of our peculiar bigger ecosystem. You understand? For instance, if you take the issue about stadium infrastructure, as one of your panelists was talking about, we don't have the luxury of having a bigger infrastructure in our ecosystem. It cuts across all sectors. Even we look at the types of roads that we drive on. A whole country as big as Ghana does not have a dual carriage from Accra to Kumasi. That is the level we find ourselves. So sometimes when we are addressing issues that pertains to infrastructure, you need to pertain to development. We need to look at it from that angle. The bigger ecosystem we find ourselves. So all those factors come together for us to develop a compliance model that everybody can be able to meet. You understand? There are many venues that are no more in existence or can no more be used for Premier League matches. There are a lot of venues in the system that can no more be used for Premier League matches because of what we have all agreed we want to implement. So for me, even before we go to what we have been discussing about, it was important for me to lay the background as to what as an FA we put in place in terms of the club licensing requirement, in terms of the safety and security manual, in terms of our weekly evaluation of matches and assessment. It was to no surprise that match, for instance, which I don't want to go into details as to what happened there because it's still under investigation. I wouldn't want to speak about it, but you are all aware and we have all come to hear that there was an information on a certain amount of police to be detailed to that match. it should tell you that it was not just a normal match, and it should tell you that it was not just coming from anywhere, it was coming from a risk assessment that was done as to whether it was executed. It forms part of our future engagements we are having with the police. So these are other conversations that is important for us to take note.
Yeah.
What else can we take note of? We need to also engage our security agencies. Is it possible that we can improve upon our exterior management? When I said exterior management outside the field of play, in the stands, at the back of the stadium, and then even the search routine that we put in place before spectators come to stadium. If you have read the protocol, I'm sure you will appreciate that we have included a proper spectator management inside the stadium, where we are going to have specific stands for our visiting supporters, especially, of course, as you will appreciate. Back to same context. In this country, the teams that mostly go for matches with their supporters is the two biggest clubs, which is Kotoko and Hearts. So it's important that we create that environment that it can encourage their supporters to travel, because they know that they will go for the match, they will go for the football match, enjoy the game at a secured environment, and lead back home safely. So we've engaged our clubs, because obviously it starts and ends with them. Sorry, it starts and ends with them. It starts and ends with the clubs. They own the league. A football match is an event of a club. That's what we have to take note of.
Yeah, Julius,
that clubs appreciate that a football match is their event that they need to watch, market it well in a safe manner. That will encourage more spectators to come, because that if you are organizing an event and the event is not safe, people will patronize it. So for me, the revenue generation tool of our league is a safe environment, safe and secure environment that we create. That is what is going to create the impression, or that's what is going to give us the confidence to be able to attend to our match venue. So that is why it was important for us to get to the class, engage with the class, and let them appreciate that for nothing at all, it is important, because you've been complaining about revenue, you've been complaining about no money in the system, you've been complaining about the difficulties. Yes, we appreciate. But one thing we must take note of is that when it comes to fan engagement and when it comes to match gates revenue, it is important to take charge of the security and the safety of the stadium, so that patrons, customers, clients, supporters who come to the stadium will come again, given the next opportunity. So that is one thing that was important for us to get to the class, to understand why there's that difficulties. Maybe there are peculiar difficulties in certain jurisdictions in terms of numbers of police, in terms of availability of security and all of that. So we took all those concerns together and then arrived at the protocols that we have published. Hoping that with it, of course, I'm having the belief that with its full implementation and enforcement, we will have an improved safety and security culture in our league.
But Julius, very well. But I mean, we know that this has been happening. People are exposed to a hooliganism act at various centers, and you mentioned that yes, we can't go away from the fact that many of our centers are not up to the highest standards, and we can't do away with it. But in the meantime, we still have to find a way and make people feel safe at venues, as Felix was mentioning. I mean, you go to away grounds and home fans will not be hospitable to you. They just find it very difficult over there. And it's been happening, and now we've lost a life. Of course, as you mentioned, it's still under investigation. But as for the FA, what was the mechanism put in place to limit these things? I mean, it's a lot of incidents have happened, but we see just banning home grounds and fines and all other things. I mean, if we had gone to another extent, probably it could have worked for us. Yes, the stewardship, system came in, but we've not seen a full realization of it. I mean, that project. Okay,
thank you. So back to context again. Number one, when it comes to safety and security, compliance and enforcement, we have the sporting side and then we have the criminal side. So that was why it was important that this time around, when we had engagement with the police, we insisted that the sports policing unit and introduction of the sports policing literature into the training of police is implemented. Two, we also pleaded with the leadership of the police to improve upon the prosecution of acts of violence at our match venues. Still a cultural problem. We appreciate. We appreciate. A lot of people feel in this country when I misbehave in a match venue, I should go scot-free. That perception can only be erased, not by sporting fines, but when people, in the criminal perspective, have been taken on by the authorities that need to do that. Unfortunately, the Ghana Football Association is not that authority. We can only press. And I can count as much as 6 cases that the Ghana Football Association has pushed forward to the Ghana police. An investigation, according to them, and prosecution are still going on. There's nothing more that we can do. It's in the state authority. You understand? So for me, I appreciate their concern, but safety and security culture across the globe, best practices, has been achieved because the client knows that when I go to the stadium and I misbehave, apart from causing sporting harm to my club, there is criminal actions that I will receive as a person. Now I go to Accra Sports Stadium, not in a football match, to go and watch Stoneboy performing, and I go there and I go and misbehave. I go and throw a bottle. I go and do something and I'm grabbed. I have to face the law. When I know I'm going to face the law if I misbehave, I wouldn't do that. That is how we do transformation. Why are there prisons? Why are there prosecutions? It's not just to punish people for the love of it. Prosecution is there to be a deterrent to the public. It's there to cause transformation to the person who did that act, so that the next time he will not do it again. When the police arrest me for breaking the traffic, he's not arresting me just for the sake of it. He's not prosecuting me to court for the sake of it. He's prosecuting me so that it will be a deterrent to others, and prosecuting me so that me, myself, as an individual who is the culprit, will not repeat it again. I think the same thing is what must apply in our sporting environment, that any crime, violence, we're in this country. Let me give you a typical example. And that is the culture we are pleading with the public to appreciate, that a misconduct in a football stadium is a misconduct, it's a crime. If you invade a field, it's an unlawful entry. If the police catch hold of you and then they prosecute you to court, they are prosecuting you because it's an unlawful entry. We want the public to have that understanding. We're in this country where we've had spectators invade a football field in our international matches. And when they were arrested, we seeing people, Ghanaians, fans, not even media, pleading for them to be released. I'm sure you've heard that before. But this is where it starts from. So I invade the pitch. I'm not taken to court. Nothing happened. Then next thing, I will take a stone. So we need to be firm as a people.
Julius, I get
you. We want to eradicate hooliganism, want to eradicate misconduct from our football centers. So we need to support the police. How can we support the police? We support the police by appreciating and agreeing that people can be prosecuted when there are misconduct in match venues. Not the plain plead and sometimes more or less an in quote demonstration that meets some of these prosecution that the police engages takes up. So that's my plea, that we need to appreciate, first of all, that a misconduct in a match venue, in a football stadium, is still a misconduct that can be prosecuted criminally. We aside the sporting aspect of it. The sporting aspect of it will go to the club. In our regulation, that's why I say it goes to the club is banned. It's deterrent enough. Yes, but unfortunately, I know for a fact people who misconducted themselves and were arrested. And even if it did not end up in them being prosecuted, now they are changed people. They tell not, because the fact that the person was even behind the counter, he was going to court, he signed a bail, he went on bail, he's going to court up and down, the time wasting, everything. Who wants to be in the police station? Nobody wants to be going to the police station and the court up and down. It can deter the person. Even if there's no finality to the prosecution, I know for a fact it will deter him. He will dare not go do that again. But assuming the club was just fined, the club was punished, banned 3 home match, you understand, and they came back, and he, the individual, was not prosecuted. Nothing happened to him. What do you think will happen? He feels he can do it again if he gets the opportunity. Do you understand? So that one is very important, and I'm very passionate about that we appreciate and support the police to eradicate this canker from our game. Hooligans, hoodlums, thugs, and criminals do not belong to the football environment.
Okay,
and we have to support the police as a people, come together to eradicate them from our venues.
Right. Now, talk to me about yesterday's meeting with the police. We understand that you are starting a process to develop a new sports safety and security training modules as part of the training for police recruits in the area of sports policing. Tell us more about this. How is it going to work? Are you going to have new sports police officers at venues that are special, dedicated to the games?
Thank you very much. So this is also one of the recommendations that over the past 5 years, the leadership of the GFA, led by our president, Mr. Xtra, has been pleading with police leadership after leadership that one of the things we've identified is the lack of understanding of the sporting environment by our police men. And it's appreciable to note that, yes, in their training, they are trained to be general, to provide general security and then protection, which may not be specific to the football environment. The football environment is a different, peculiar environment that has its own understanding, has its own configuration, has its own architecture. So having an appreciation of what it takes to provide safety, first of all, before security in a match venue is important. Safety may not be something that they have training about. So we appreciated that we needed to introduce that training, which, of course, in the best practices across the globe, we have a special unit in all the police unit service that provides sports policing because they identify sports and entertainment, even though they are public events, are also threats to society. So we need special attention to it. So we in our last meeting with the IGPD appreciated and agreed that this must start as immediately as possible. Luckily for us, we have our young brothers and sisters in the recruits already who may be passing out middle of this year. So again, it was a very good opportunity for us to introduce the training to their curricula as quickly as possible. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the leadership of the Ghana Police Service. They've been very swift in this case. And as I speak to you right now, we are just in the final stage of completing the module, comparing what it exists and what they have developed to what we have developed from the concept of football to come together and get a very complete model that will address our challenges that pertains to us in this country, so that recruits that will be coming out have an appreciation of sports policing to the extent that from those recruits, then we can also identify the ones that are really good when it comes to sport policing, because we have practical experiences as well in league matches. So while they are training in the classroom, some of the league matches, these recruits will go and support the operations. Through that, the instructors and the leaders will identify the good ones who then will form the new sports policing units of the Ghana Police Service, so that at least in every region we'll have specific people who are responsible or who are experts when it comes to sports policing. Like we have the CID, we have the MTTU, we have the general police. Even in the general police, we have disability, we have FPU, we have different sectors because they play different roles. You understand? For instance, there are people who specifically be deployed for election duty. It's not everybody that may be deployed for election duty. You understand? Exactly. So that is what the police service are trying to establish as well. But again, we also have training that we're going to conduct for the regional sports security officer, the RSSO, which is going to also help us in terms of having a specific point of contact in every region who has an appreciation of what sports policing is about, so that you will then assist us in ensuring that there is proper assessment, proper planning, proper coordination in terms of the security arrangement for our matches. So I think that the new marriage established between us and the Ghana Police Service, what we have been pushing for over the years, and finally we've gotten the collaboration and coordination that we expected, and we hope that this new marriage will then be the next phase towards creating a very good safety and security culture in our league.
Julius, that brings me to this question: How to African protocols demand of about 100 police officers during some games. Does this make it possible for them? I mean, is it something that...
Can you please come again? I did not hear.
It brings me to the question of how to folks, demands, protocols especially, their demands of having 100 police officers at the games. Does it makes it possible to happen?
Thank you very much. So, like we have indicated in our protocols, and because now it's a regulation, I cannot speak based on my opinion. I can only speak to the protocol. It's clearly stated that unless otherwise advised by the national security agencies, we will go strictly according to the Okujoto Commission report, White Paper Commission report that was published in 2001 after the midnight disaster, unless otherwise recommended by the National Security Agency. So we leave that full implementation, even though we are going to propose the full implementation will come from the National Security Agency, because they will do the assessment and they might even come out to say that this particular match may not even need 100, may need 200. So security is not approached with straight target. So all the regulations across the globe, there is no specific number to security. It's about assessment. A match between Nsoatreman and Bekum Chelsea, depending on where they lie on the table, and then the stakes involved, may be bigger than even a Kotoko Heart match.
Yeah, so why don't we have a review of that categorization of games?
Thank you. So we have also after the first, that's why you asked me specific to the demands of Kotoko, that's why I answered that way. After that clause, there's a next clause that says that there's going to be a weekly review and assessment of all matches going to be graded into A, B, C, D. And based on that recategorization, a match which ordinarily per the Okujoto Commission's report was a category B match, assuming Kotoko is coming to play Indiana. It's a category B match. But we did our classification and our assessment, and we realized that the match is a high-risk match than B. We can reclassify it to a category A match. And then it means that the security agents are supposed to cooperate with us based on how we are going to testify to them to provide numbers in line with what the category A is. In fact, it may even go higher based on the classification we did. So it's possible that a game between Kotoko and Indiana, which is ordinarily a category B match, may even receive security attention more than ordinarily what the category A match would have received based on the assessment. So that is also in the regulation when it comes to the weekly assessment and classification of matches. It is something we already do. Yes, it's something that the Safety and Security Committee does for us. So every week they classify the matches and then they hint at the match that needed attention, need extra security. Some we even send letters to clubs to make extra arrangements, including the deployment of military and all of that. It is all in the regulation. So we'll continue to do that. But this time around, not just about the numbers. It's about the effectiveness. It's about the efficiency of deployment. It's about the efficiency of session. It's about the efficiency of the work itself. You understand? It's not just about the numbers. Okay. You can have 100 police go to a venue and may not work. They'll be there doing a different thing altogether. I'm sure you've identified that before in some matches. So it's not just about the numbers. I agree with the numbers, but it's about the effectiveness and the efficiency of the work and how the deployment is done at various sections in the stadium to ensure that every patron, every stakeholder, every user group is protected.
Well, Julius, one of my pundits in studio, Prof. Jisampons, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah, Prof.
Yeah, so, Julius.
Yes, sir, Prof.
Yes, just to find out. Now, you are working with the police to ensure that they have a sports policing unit. Now, have you thought about also working with the courts that we may have, a special sports court? So I'm asking this question because if the police unit provides you a sports unit, a sports policing unit, and then they go to the stadium and they arrest somebody, are they going to go through the normal court system? Won't that be laborious? So question is that, what is the FA considering working together with the Judicial Service or the Chief Justice Office so that a sports court can also be created to also make room for hooligans who come to our stadium, taking into consideration the issues that we are having now?
Thank you very much. Good point, good question. It's something that has come up several times. Not just about having a dedicated court unit specifically for sports, though, but how to take action when it comes to prosecution. And I mean, the normal response that we always receive is a judicial structure, and then we cannot do anything about it. So, yes, that is something that the legal team at the FA had thought of before. What we even have as a concern is not just about how expedite action could be taken in terms of prosecution, but also even having a review of the laws that pertains to public order and things that still we feel has to be included in that, which came up during our discussions with the Ghana Police Service, and they have taken it up. They are going to review all the laws that pertain to public order and see the possibility of creating even a special one for sports, that there's public or sports events order, where possibly they will put in acts that pertains to the sporting environment or match venues that are criminal when you do. Exactly. So, like I told you, for instance, now, when someone invades a pitch, the law that pertains to that is that disturbing public order through unlawful entry. Wow. Is it possible that we can have specific one that pertains to the football or sporting environment? You understand? So that conversation about the prosecution is broader than even having a special sports code. There's a broader conversation that is ongoing to even look at the laws that pertains to public order in terms of a football or a sporting environment, and then how we can expedite action in terms of prosecution. So I'm sure that, like you have mentioned, if it is possible to have the sport cost, and it depends on the engagement between the Ghana Police Service and the Judicial Service, we are sure that that will go on, and then we'll see how best we can arrive at having expedite action. I agree with you. Some of the cases have delayed, and we feel it's the justice delayed is not justice served. So it's important that we expedite actions on ensuring that we prosecute people as quickly as possible. If they are guilty, they face the consequences. If they are not guilty, they can go scot-free as innocent people. So I agree with you. It's something that the FA has taken note of, and that in due time we'll come out with information on that.
Julius, again on that issue. See, and it's just a proposal for us to look at, and since the discussion is on. We have a law on vigilante. Parliament recently passed a law on vigilante to deal with political vigilantism and all those things. That particular law, clearly, I don't know whether, if the FA could make a representation to the sports minister for us to look at amending that law and including hooliganism as part of that law. If we don't have, if we want to look at all the public order laws and then consider them before we can add sports to it, I'm just suggesting that there is a law on vigilantism. If that law can be amended and therefore sports, hooliganism, contained in that law, pushed in that law, I think that we should be able to resolve that matter with that particular thing. That's just a suggestion. It's just a proposal.
Yeah, well noted. But like I said, our discussion based on the public order law is even looking at how we can extract sports on its own as an independent public order law pertaining to sports alone. So, because when it comes to the distraction to public order in a sporting environment, it is not only hooliganism. We feel that pitch invasion is a call because we cause a stir as you invade the pitch, the game stops, you are affecting other people who are watching. You understand? It should be criminalized. So that is one example. Yeah, throwing of stones, throwing of missiles onto the field. It should be criminalized. You understand? And a whole lot of things. So it goes beyond just hooliganism. Hooliganism is where it involves battering and physical attack. Do you understand? So we are even pushing for us to have a separate law that pertains to the sporting environment, not just having it to be added to a vigilante law. No, it should be on its own. This is a law that pertains to public order in a sporting environment. That's the dream. That's what we are pushing towards. And the bureaucratic structures in the country. Yeah, we can push and push, but of course it does not lie in our hands. But we'll continue to push, we'll continue to engage, we'll continue to plead so that we'll get to that stage.
Julius, Felix asked a question. I was going to ask my last one. With this new protocols outlined, is that enough to get the Premier League back? Are we all on one page that with these protocols we can continue the league in a good place? But Felix, you can also ask your question and then he answers that.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my brother.
Okay. So I have two questions, just two short questions. You talk about safety and security. I want to know why there wasn't an improved medical protocol in the safety and security document that was released. And then secondly, the FA, being an association, they grant license to football clubs to host matches. But don't you think that we need to get to a point where if an individual, I'm saying this because there are club owners who have built their own facility, to host football events. Don't you think that the FA should have a say in when structures are being put up to host football matches? So, for instance, if I'm going to build, I know I need a license or a building permit from the town and country planning. Don't you think when it comes to building a football facility, the FA should advise on some of the basic things that needs to be involved in putting up that structure to help in security and safety of everybody involved?
I agree with you. Thank you. The first question was, please, your first question.
My first question was why there wasn't any medical protocol in the revised security and safety protocols that were brought out by the FA.
Thank you. So the first question, for the medical protocol, it's already in our regulations. So if you read the first part, it says that this also is a supplementary to what already exists. What we have added in the medical protocol is that we have now instituted a safety and security coordinator of every match. You understand? He is supposed to do the coordination of all the security people that comes to the match. What we have realized is that there's poor coordination. The ambulance come, they are doing their thing. The medical people come, that's the Red Cross, they are doing their thing. You understand? Security is doing their thing. But when you have one focal person who's in charge of the safety and security operations, the safety and security includes the prevention of injury, which is, and of course, response to emergencies and all of that, the fire service, all those people comes under safety. You understand? Then we have the security one as well. Because we did not have that, we solved that problem by instituting that, and the police have agreed. So we train people who are going to be in charge of the whole safety and security operations. And this time around, their deployment time has all been stated in there. And then we have also added the protocol they have to follow of not moving away from their positions and all of that. So all those things were addressed in terms of the medical aspect. Now to the infrastructure aspect, the body responsible for as a technical consultant to public institutions and the state in terms of sporting infrastructure is the National Sports Authority. The National Sports Authority themselves in the past have come out severally to condemn the kind of constructions that had happened in the past because it did not fall within the standards of FIFA. Now, what we do is that every year, the standards that we develop, we actually go for the high standards in terms of what we provide to the National Sports Authority. We always provide them with the approved current FIFA and CAF stadium regulations so that when we are constructing those facilities, it is constructed to suit a CAF or FIFA match. If it suits a CAF or FIFA match, already the GFA competition has been factored. So that they have. But the question is about the willpower sometimes. The question is also about who is constructing the facility. The question is also about who is talking to who. You understand? There are times that we have intervened, which it should not be the case. That we intervene to correct some defects in some of the constructions that are ongoing. Sometimes the intervention may come late because we are not even engaged, like you are saying, during those constructions because the public authority in charge is the NSC. So we have also engaged them sometimes, their estate division, that some of the things, they need to also move to the constructor. They need to move to the investors. They need to move to the authority in public who is constructing that facility before it gets too late. Immediately we hear that there's an announcement of a proposed sporting infrastructure. I think that it's important that as an authority, we make steps to the person who's going to construct that facility and have an assessment of the plan so that if there are inputs, it is done before we start. That goes beyond the GFA because GFA is a subset of the NSA. We are under the NSA, of course. So the mother body has authority over all the sporting infrastructure that pertain into the country. In the country. Except maybe it's a private infrastructure. When it comes to private infrastructure, the private investors, of course, if they have an intention of developing it for the purposes of football, they engage the GFA. As I speak to you right now, yesterday, a club wrote to the GFA that he intends to construct a football or redevelop a football venue. So what is needed and what we're supposed to do, which I'm developing for the person as we speak. So when it's a private investor, they come. But you know the bureaucratic structure that exists in the public sector. So sometimes it's difficult for us to get to that input that we need to make. But we do that through the NSA. And then we'll continue to push so that NSA would be on public and on the government that when they are doing construction or when they are constructing state facilities for sports, and which has football as a factor. And that's another thing. When there's a construction of an Olympic stadium, because it's not just a football stadium, you can't get a typical football configuration. A typical example is the University of Ghana Stadium. Because it's a typical Olympic stadium with athletics and other things, you won't get a typical football configuration. You understand? So we just have to be creative about it in terms of its usage. You design it said that if I want to use it for football, I can reconfigure it and use it for football. If I want you to use it for athletics, I can reconfigure it and use it for athletics. That is what we preach, and that is the creativity that we will continue to support developers with. So it's something that is a good point, and it's something that we'll continue to engage authorities on that. And most of the challenges that we have as an association, it's challenges that have to do with the bigger ecosystem itself. The few ones that we have control of, which is the sporting side, we'll continue to apply the acts and make sure that we get to the latter of it, and of course be able to reach the best standard. But there are some that goes beyond the realms of the Ghana Football Association. We'll continue to engage on that.
Okay, Julius, finally, with these new rules and protocols in mind, are we ready? Are you ready to restart?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so there are action points that we are following. The first action point was supposed to be the announcement of the protocol. The second action point, we need to train the match commissioners who are going to be the full implementers of the protocols at the match venue, which means representing the Ghana Football Association, ensuring that these protocols are fully executed and then reports back to the Ghana Football Association. It is only fair that they get abreast with what the protocol is about, ask the questions they need to ask, and then see how best we can properly implement that. We intend to hold that workshop on Tuesday, and then we're also going to train all the 16. The Ghana Police Service, by way of announcement, have appointed in each region already a regional sports security officer. So we intend to train them also. We are waiting for the confirmed date, but it's going to be in person. They are all coming to Accra for that training, together with all the club safety and security officers. Every club is supposed to nominate a competently appointed club safety and security officer who is going to be in charge of the safety and security operations in the club. So they are all coming for this training together with their regional officers. We are waiting. They are ready, but we are waiting for their date with the Ghana Police Service, and of course we can go ahead to make the announcement. The next one, we are going to do another review meeting with the Premier League clubs again to refresh them with the protocols. These are recommendations. Some of they made, and we added some to it and agreed and approved it. But it's important that we go through it together again to ensure that we know what we are going to do. You understand? Everybody understands their responsibilities and rules and all of that. Yeah. So after that, there's a re-inspection of the match venues, which is something we do every year. In the mid-season, we do re-inspection of match venues. So we are, this time around, together with other agencies like the National Sports Authority and the Ministry, we are going to reassess all the match venues with an eye on security, and then confirm the ones that are suitable to continue hosting GPL matches. The ones that fall short, we'll tell them the reasons why they fall short for them to improve upon it. If it is that they have improved upon it, they may go back to their match venues. So that one will be done. Before then, we can all agree that we are good to go.
Julius, are these club safety and security officers for Premier League clubs only, or all clubs under the GFA?
It's all clubs in the league. But this particular coming meeting in person will be for the Premier League clubs. But every club in the league has a club safety and security officer.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for your time this morning, Julius, for doing this with us on Team Talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother, and I appreciate the opportunity to explain further issues surrounding this particular case. Thank you.
Right. So that was Julius Emunah, head of competitions at the GFA, also CAF safety and security consultant, making a lot of submissions on the security protocols aligned by the GFA. So we get back on track to restart the Ghana Premier League. Some of the rules, as you mentioned, now they have to have club safety, security officers, and a whole lot of things. We also know that they've now have a new ban, so sort of ban for clubs who fail to comply with this 20,000 Ghana cedis for the clubs that fail to comply with this. Prof, I want to ask you, what's your assessment to this arrangement by the FA? Is it good enough for us to get going? Because it's been too many, and now a life has been lost. We can't continue with this. It really hurts our football and the Ghana Premier League.
It's not about crafting things on paper. It's about implementation. And as a student of public policy, really, it's a problem. It's one of my lecturers back then, Professor Xtra, says that we are implementation sick. So we are very good at crafting things. So within this space, you saw that the FA has met, the protocol had to work together, putting together statements and issuing them. Everybody has a view on it, but the crux of the matter is implementation. So when you go to Doma, are you able to implement this? If it comes to relegation battle and two clubs are meeting and one is playing at home, are we able to look in the will we be able to implement these things? That's the thing. So it is not about putting together documents. It's not about writing English. That one we know how to write. If you go to our ministries, departments and agencies, Felix is a very he's been a long-term public servant, so he appreciates the things I'm saying. Look, when it comes to implementation, when it comes to formulating policy, we are one of the best. We are one of the best. We are but when it comes to what has been written on paper being implemented faithfully, we always falter. So I would hasten slowly, because knowing this country, we can do this for the first 2 weeks, and the rest of the weeks ahead, we will abandon everything. You take for example.
Forget about it.
Take for example, all of us sitting here. The year beginning of the year, we have written resolutions, haven't we? We write resolutions. I'm not saying, I'm not criticizing another part. It's a problem that we have. It's a real problem that we know how to put things on paper, but when it comes to implementing it, it's always difficult for us. So I will wait for them to do all the action plans, and then when we have to put the things that we have written on paper.
But now I think probably they've gone ahead. A step further. Now we have police, sports.
Look.
So there are people that represent the implementation now.
Look. Do you know how passionate our clubs are when it comes to their 3 points? When they need 3 points to avoid relegation, they will do anything.
Yeah. So
I'm coming. What was it? 3 or 4 seasons ago, Bechem, they took a truck to block a GBC van.
Hey.
They blocked the van. They just a truck surprising, miraculously got spot.
I was at the venue then.
Miraculously got spot, and then they blocked the van, so they prevented the match from being carried live on TV, and they did what they wanted to do. So look, our clubs, it comes down to the Premier League clubs.
Yeah, very, very good point.
It comes down to the Premier League clubs being committed to this. And when they need the 3 points, look, forget about security protocols. They don't care. So, I'm saying that all these things we have written on paper, the clubs themselves, they will test it. You see, and that's where the resolve of the FA will come to bear. Because as for the clubs, the thing is that let's test whether these people, they really mean what they are written there. And once they test and they realize that, they'll go back to their old ways.
Before I agree to do this new.
Princeton, proud to this improvement on the security and safety arrangements. Haven't they agreed to something?
Yeah, of course.
They had agreed to something already. The previous thing, the previous thing on paper, you couldn't implement it. What's the probability that you are able to implement these new ones that you have done? So I'm saying that for our clubs, the only thing they understand is 3 points. If they have to make sure they stay in the league, they will do anything to stay in the league. They will do anything. And if Division 1 league clubs needs to qualify for the Premier League, they will do anything to qualify for the Premier League.
Thank you. Felix, now to the discussion of the clubs being accomplices to this act. I mean, you have a lot of instances and stories to share. So they are facts. And many have said that Kotoko and Natufok, these two clubs are also huge beneficiaries of this. They are instigators behind these things. And after the death of Napoli, they are trying to play victims, and they're also using this as an opportunity to get what they want. Do you agree with that?
No. See, if you ask me what is Hatofok asking that would not be beneficial to the remaining 16 clubs, apart from the seat at the ESCO, and then apart from more money when it comes to TV rights, I think that everything that they are asking would also be beneficial to the other 16 clubs. It is fair to say that Hatofok and Kotoko deserve more money, because you can't be showing 34 games of Hearts and Kotoko. You show about 4 matches of Karela United, and they are sharing the same money. It doesn't make sense.
Never.
It doesn't make sense. Nowhere in the world.
Kotoko are they've just woken up.
Liverpool, Chelsea, United, they will get more money than Ipswich, than Southampton, than Leicester, because their games are almost on TV. If it is title or title sponsor money, and they are sharing equally, I don't have a problem. If you have a title sponsor, if Asaase Radio is sponsoring the league, if it's Asaase Premier League, and every club is getting a share of the money. So let's say, you know what? Let's split the money into 70-30. 70% will be shared among the clubs. 30% will go into winnings. Or we can say 50, or we can say 50-50. And then the other 50% will go into your position on the league log. And Princeton, it is important. As for Hearts and Kotoko asking for position on the ESCO, I am not too worried, because when the league goes autonomous, they will leave the ESCO for the FA. Because they can't be on the ESCO and then still have an autonomous. What do they be doing on the ESCO? But for everything that has, and let me tell you something. If you look at hooliganism, Hearts and Kotoko have been at the end of it most of the time. If you look at hooliganism, the teams in the Bono region have been at the heart of it.
But Hearts and Kotoko also, they have their own.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
No, we know how Kotoko fans.
See, I'm coming.
No, but if Kotoko, I'm coming.
Okay.
Just if Kotoko fans, they say that their players are not playing well, so they want to show them something small. It's their players.
No, you see,
I'm coming. I'm not justifying it too. I'm just saying that if Kotoko has to do it, they don't do it to other clubs. They do it to their own players, which is wrong.
Prof, I agree. But what I'm also saying is, see, you get a lot of supporters coming to watch games when Hearts and Kotoko are playing away. So Princeton, definitely, they should be leading the front row in making sure that these reforms come. Yes. But you see, when Prof started, he's basically spoke my mind. Me, as I sit here, I don't believe there will be changes. Because there's been numerous times we've come out with white paper, green paper, blue paper,
yellow paper,
but no implementation. We've set out committees, we've set up commission with no mission, with no implementation. Princeton, me, all I want is, if we even have to suspend the league for 6 months, 1 year, and return with only 4 good venues that can provide us with maximum safety and security, I'm all for it.
But they are running at a loss, so they can't be.
Which loss?
Which loss?
The league that you've been playing for years, that there is no money. Do you know the amount of losses the clubs are running? And you have an FA president who doesn't care.
He's not
and
well.
he will go down as the worst FA president we've ever had.
He's not well.
Oh, but
I am not talking about whether he's well. The times that he's been well, what has he been doing? Kurt doesn't care about the Ghana Premier League. And I'm saying this because he's chopping waffle money. He's chopping CAF money. He's chopping FIFA money. I'm not saying that he gets salaries from them.
But even the FA, he gets salaries.
That's what I'm saying. So he doesn't care. The league your league, see, you are playing a league that has no title sponsor, a league that has no TV rights. So there's no money there for him to worry about you guys. So far as he's able to get people to go and vote for him at Congress, so far as he can get people to go and say yeah and yes to everything you say at Congress, sometimes I feel we are even crying more than they believe. And I'm telling you this, Princeton, everything the Premier League clubs are getting, including Kotoko and Haas, they deserve it. Everything they are getting from this Kurt administration, they deserve it. It is sad that some of us, when we talk about how poor the Kurt-led administration and GFA has been, people think that we are attacking them or we have some personal agenda against.
We are attacking football.
Me, I don't know Kurt. Kurt is not my friend. But Princeton, people will tell you the truth if they want the best for you. We all want the betterment of Ghana football. It is only Kurt and his cronies at the FA that will tell you that Ghana football is on the right path.
They are in
Dreamland. Princeton, it is only the people at the FA, the people that are close to Kurt, they are the only people that will tell you that Ghana football is at the right path, and then Kurt has overachieved.
And the leadership of Kurt, we have never seen some before.
If I talk about how poor the Black Stars have been and how poor the decision to maintain Otoado, they will say you are attacking the FA. But Otumfo said the same thing
yesterday.
Yes. So that would they say Otumfo doesn't like the FA or Otumfo doesn't like it? We have a problem with our football, and the only thing we need is implementation. Princeton, the documents released, the revised protocol, I was very disappointed because I saw fines and stadium ban. Bro, the reason why we have hooligans at the stadium is because of 3 points. 3-0. So, if you are a first-time offender and you are being charged 20,000 Ghana cedis, that is chicken. Some people use 20,000 for ways and means, so for 3 points. They can still misbehave, get their 3 points, and pay you 20,000.
I mean,
so why don't you add 3 points to the fines?
That's the only thing they fear.
So I'm fining you 50,000. I'm taking away 3 points from you.
That's the only thing they fear.
That is the only thing. And then for the stadium ban, at the end of you are not going to play at your venue till the end of the season, or for the next 2 seasons, you are not playing your home games there. How many times have we not seen Waminafo? Every season, something must happen there. Just 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Princeton, even in Swatrema, we saw in Swatrema, Tamale City. We saw in Swatrema, Bofuakwa, in Sunyani.
Yeah. And then the Masokunodu issue.
Yes.
So
Princeton, the issue is
because
Princeton, the issue is, and you see, I even wanted. I think in the document they spoke about implementing the CCTV camera next season or so.
Yeah.
Princeton, how long does it take to install CCTV cameras? A week, two, you should be able to install.
You just buy the equipment, you install.
Simple as that. And you see, some of the clubs, they rent venues from government. government has an initiative. They are installing CCTV cameras on our road and all that. You can talk to the owners of the stadium. The stadium belongs to most of the municipal assembly and the district assembly, and tell them that we have been renting your facility, but without CCTV camera, we are not going to get approval. So you need to upgrade. And now that the ministry has taken, a stand on how to improve the league and the venues, you can also liaise through the Minister for Sports and Recreation and tell him that we need to have CCTV camera installed at venues, at the Golden City Park, which belongs to government. You understand? So let's try as much as possible to make sure that whatever new protocol was brought out, we are implementing those protocols.
Look, I can
Princeton,
this is
every time that I've been attacked at a league venue, from Golden City to Domato, it is club administrators. Let me give you an example. There was this one hooligan at Liberty Karendorf. I know that, but I don't want to mention his name. And every time Liberty will play a game, they will position him behind the fence at the opposing goalkeeper. The guy will intimidate the goalkeeper, the linesman. When they go for half time and then swap goalposts, he will change.
Wow.
Sometimes the match commissioner will caution the police. They will go and arrest the boy. And the guys who will arrest the police officers and then the community police guys, we all stay in Dansoma. The police people are from Dansoma police station. Yeah. When they pick the guy up, they will put him in their Nizam pickup. When they get to Dansoma roundabout, they will drop the boy. Charlie. So you have policemen who are within the community, who have been taxed to go and officiate a match. That is why Kotoko and House of Folk joint letter, they said, if the game is coming on in cantonment, don't bring cantonment police station policemen. Go to Adenta, go to Medina, go to Mamplobi, and bring, because when they come to cantonment, they don't know anybody there.
They are there to do their job.
Yes. But if Prof and Princeton stays in cantonment, and Princeton is on match day duty, and Prof is misbehaving, they say Asaase Busia.
And they'll probably be supporters of the club as well.
Yes.
So
yes. That is where the problem is.
Look,
that is where. And you see, the issue is, implementing this will start from the FA. The only thing the FA can do is to take away their license or give you a huge fine and take away their 3 points. But aside that, there is nothing else the FA can do. It is the clubs.
The clubs.
Why would Hasselhoff go to a match in, let's say, BBNE and have match officials? Match officials and have some supporters as part of the traveling team that will enter into the dressing room. If you are not a technical team member, if you are not part of the playing body, you have no business being even in the safe zone or the dressing room. But we see match officials entering the dressing room. I was in Ivory Coast for the AFCON when Ghana drew 2-2 against Egypt. The FA president was going to the Blaster dressing room. There was a French guy at the gate. He said, he won't enter. Whether you are FA president or CAF president.
You're not part of the team, so.
The guy, ce n'est pas français, no, ne parlez français, no.
No.
The guy said, no way. If you are not a player, you will even sit in the team bus. It is only the technical team, the driver, the security officer, and the players.
That's how it's
and that is the way it's supposed to be.
And
so
when they come to the venue, they will not be denied.
Yes. So every player should even be given an accreditation tag for the season. Yeah, so when you get in Swatre, there's a safe zone where you are supposed to park your bus. If it is 2 officials that you are coming, even the officials have a tag. So the players will be ushering, but the match day coordinator will usher the players and then the technical team into the dressing room. If you're a match official, go and sit at the VIP. And that is it. That is it. It's as simple as that.
Right.
Princeton, how difficult is this? How difficult?
It's the will to do it.
Do you know what? Do you know what? This very thing.
Wrap it up for me.
This very thing Felix has spoken about dressing room. Me, when I was following radio, as a dedicated and an ardent listener, that was the conversation that the likes of Kurtz, Kwame, all of them were having. That as an official, if you are not a coach, you have no business going to the dressing room. But today, when they all became officials, they go to the dressing room.
They turn motivational speakers.
they go to the dressing room. You see, but Princeton, let me take you back just a bit. A year ago, yesterday, a year ago, a group called itself the Save Ghana Football, demonstration.
Yeah.
They had a demonstration. I wish that we could look at their petition that they gave to Parliament.
I think I should have the...
You see in there, they spoke about hooliganism and the fact that if we don't do anything about it, it will lead to people dying.
Yeah.
They spoke about the coach, that the FA should hold on and not hire any coach, and that if we don't take care, we will have difficulty in.
We'll miss out on the AFCON. That's what they said.
And you see, the truth of the matter is that the Ket-led administration, they don't listen. They don't respect us. They don't listen. And unfortunately, Ket is a journalist. He criticized other administrations. Prosper Sinadu, journalist. Fredachi, journalist. Dr. Randy Abbey started as a sports journalist. So, if you look at it, and almost everything that we have sat here, other journalists have sat here and sat at their various behind their various microphones and they've spoken about. It's almost coming to pass. See, we are talking about the coach, the Black Stars coach being sacked. Nobody is listening to us. That firefighting approach will come. I am telling you today that March World Cup fixture, we will lose that match. And when we lose, you see what will happen here. Then that's when you see helter skelter. Hey, let's get rid of the coach. And we said, then as usual, the proponents, those guys who will bring the coach, who brought the coach, they will sit down and put up another plan. And then quickly, look at how quickly they have brought Winfred Schaefer. They've brought, when you know that there's a new government in place and they will appoint a new sports minister and that you're going to have discussions with him, they quickly go ahead and they appoint.
A day before his vetting.
They quickly go ahead and then they appoint. So that when you can't do anything.
And the blaster man who said they can see, yesterday, 2 days today, the sports minister said he's going to review. He said he's going to review why Otuado has to keep his job and why the assistant has to go. He has to
do that because you see, do you know?
Not to cut you. Look at Dr. Randy Abbey. He's the Cocoa Board head, right?
Yeah.
That's a $10 billion economy. See, Ghana's economy is cocoa. Sure. And you want him to have time to come and sit and decide, as a management member for the Blasters.
And be chairman.
But
no.
Why didn't they just wait? Let your man go through vetting, appoint a sports and a recreation minister. And then, because at the end of the day, it is the sports minister who will be paying the salary of the technical team. Yeah. And you don't want him to have a say? I mean, thankfully, he said he would do that. And one thing he said, Prof, if Ket is your friend, advise him.
He's not my friend.
If the Blasters fail to qualify for the World Cup, they will come for the FA.
No, but
they will come for the FA.
But you see, we shouldn't wait. You see, my whole problem is that this disdain and this disrespect for government, and they did it to the previous government. You will be there, and then but of course the previous government, their ministers were culpable. You see, when Kurt comes to you and he tells you that let's go and tell the president, take me to the president, let me go and beg him, so that we sack
your minister was calling Kurt
my senior brother. Truth of the matter is that this FA president is really truly arrogant, and I think somebody has to sit and really sit him down and really point out these things, because really it's not as if his pomposity and the arrogance is so annoying, because it's not bringing any dividend to us. Yeah, do money ye there, and I can arrogant but truly, the arrogance and the pomposity of the FA president, this government has to sit up and check it.
Let's leave it there. I mean, now I think the minister has a huge job, and that's what President Mahama said. He has a huge job to start a reset at the FA, and we just wish him the very best.
So before you continue, do you think that everybody is just attacking the FA?
No,
there's a reason.
No.
This one, Morocco. You let it when they did the draw. That's when Ghanaians began to feel it.
When we start
the tournament?
December, Christmas.
When we start the tournament, can you imagine?
Please, Ghanaians, you are not going, but support Kwesi Nyantakyi, Sudan.
That one there.
Support my client.
Okay, let's still talk football. And the other national team, the women's national team, the Black Queens, they have a new coach, Kim Las Boykegren. Charlie, you mentioned names.
Kim Las.
Kim Las. So, Kim Las was unveiled yesterday. He's been speaking a lot. Let's listen to him.
I mean, so far so good. I've already met a lot of really good people, friendly people. I'm looking forward to be a part of Ghana, of the culture, and of course to meet the staff and the players and start to work hard with them. Of course, if you want to be negative, you can see that when you're looking at the FIFA ranking, you can see that the team have been moving in the wrong direction for, 20 years maybe or something like that. And I think the quality in the team is better than the FIFA ranking shows. So I think for sure that we will be better and better. There are so many talent players, like I said, so I think they will grow and improve a lot in the future for sure. But I want the team to believe in themselves. I also want us to be a little bit more aggressive, both with and without the ball, to press a little bit harder, to attack quicker, but also to keep the DNA in the Ghana football, to play beautiful football, the ball on the ground and things like that. If we win, like you said, that people will think that I'm a really good coach. If we lose, the opposite. That's how it is, and I think I don't see that's something that is negative. I see that I love that people here is so interested in when it comes to football, that they discuss and they think, and like you said, that everybody are the best coaches here. It shows that they have passion for the football, for this beautiful game. It shows that they are interested in and to know how it goes for the women's team here as well.
That's Kim Las Boykegren, Black Queens head coach. He's starting his work with a friendly against Morocco later next week before the main Women's African Nations Cup in Morocco in July. Prof, your expectations from him after losing Nora Hoptel, what do you think really should be his focus with the team?
Well, he should continue doing what Nora started, basically. I hope that when Nora was going, he left us notes, proper reports, which he will come to look at and then continue. I think we'll have to give him time, and I don't think that there will be pressure for him to go and win the AFCON. I think that it would come down to Ghana doing very well. I mean, the usual target we give coaches. This one probably a quarterfinal, a semi-final bet. will not be bad. But I have to aim higher, basically. But I think it's a difficult one. It's unfortunate that in the women division, in the past, when you were talking Ghana, Nigeria, you were talking South Africa, and then Cameroon. Today, Morocco, all the others have gone past us because primarily they are investing. We, at least when you want to appreciate the Ket administration, I think that if you look at how we've organized the Women Premier League and everything, it's not been bad. We have seen our clubs qualify for the African tournament, and it's not been that bad. But hopefully this gentleman should came last. That the rest of it I can't mention because I don't eat sweet food, so I can't mention that one. But it is important that he comes to continue what Nora was doing. It is important that again the FA makes available resources to the Black Queens, that we don't revert to camping at Pram Pram, that we will still put them in Labadi Beach Hotel, we still put them in the good hotels, we will improve upon what we were doing so that this coach is able to do the things. We will get him the necessary friendly matches, because that was one of the issues that Nora had with the FA, that they couldn't get enough friendly matches for the Black Queens. I hope that the Morocco one will not be an ideal one, that there will be other matches that will be organized for them, so that the coach can have the benefit of looking at his players, because he's new.
Yeah.
So it will be important that it is through these friendly matches that he will be able to see. Some of his players are abroad. Will he be given tickets to go and watch them, for example? So I'm looking at the kind of how we can scale up the improvement or the incentives that we will give this coach to ensure that he is able to do his job very, very well. Are we going to give him a good four-wheel drive Land Cruiser so he can go around the country and go and watch some of these Premier League matches and all those things? So I'm saying that it depends on the kind of improved package that we put across. So it's not only about giving him good salary. It's not only about but the kind of facilities that are made, the kind of resources that are put at his disposal should be better than what Nora was getting. So, and the things that Nora was complaining about, it is important that these things are improved upon, so that we see where we go with women football and especially our Black ones.
Right. Let's use the final minute, fellas, to talk about the last topic. So former GFA President Nyantakyi has been discharged by the High Court after 5 years of legal battle. It stems from that number 12 expose by a nurse. For me, it really crippled Ghana football. But now he's free as long as Ghana's judiciary system is concerned. But as a football person, he still has the ban from FIFA. It was reduced from lifetime ban to 15 years, and so maybe he can still go for another appeal with this ruling. I want us to answer just one question. For Ghana football, what really was the end game? What did we get from that expose? Not just on the personal level of Nyantakyi, but for us, I think we didn't really get.
For us, we gain nothing. For us, we gain nothing. And see, I am an advocate of, prosecuting public officials who misuse their status, misuse their position when they had power. So I didn't have any problem with he being, sent to courts, but it is also good that the court deals with the issues, and sometimes what we think and what the court thinks are not the same. So I'm happy that he's a free man and there are no charges against him. But on a larger scale, I think that Ghana actually lost. We lost somebody who by now could have even been a CAF president.
Yeah.
We lost somebody who was climbing high on the football political ladder.
On the FIFA council.
Yes, he was almost. And aside that, I think that See, when we had Kwesi Nyantakyi, the Black Stars were even performing. When we had Kwesi Nyantakyi, the Black Stars the GFA will even come and apologize for losing a friendly match. But we will go to a tournament and we have to beg them to come and beg us and apologize. See, when we had Kwesi Nyantakyi, the league wasn't as awful as it is. So I was thinking that after Anas, we will take that opportunity to reform our football. I love it when Kurt was doing the MTN FA Cup when he was chairman. He was so superb. So Princeton, and when the normalization came, we had to restructure the football and everything. I was thinking that it would have been an opportunity for us to start enforcing club licensing to the latter. Normalization, we start with saying that we have only 5 good parks and stadiums in Ghana. So 18 teams, you are playing on those 5 parks. Find your way to the venue. I was thinking that the Kwesi Nyantakyi expose would have given proper reforms to our referees. The Referee Association of Ghana, RAG, will take full control of officiating. But now we have people at the FA appointing referees. You understand? I was thinking that the Anas expose is going to give us a fine leader in Kurt who will reset our football. He came out with igniting the passion and creating work for all.
Bringing back the love.
But what has happened now, Princeton? Princeton, what has happened now? Extinguishing the love. They've created wealth for themselves, and the love is no more.
So it's the same old story.
So I think that we haven't benefited. But personally, I'm happy for Kwesi Nyantakyi. And if he doesn't even win an appeal to have the 15 years reduced, after 15 years, he should come back. We all make mistakes. And in life, we all deserve second chance. So I want to say this. I'm happy that he's won his case. And I wish him all the best. He did a lot for Ghana football. And if he has an opportunity and still wants to come back to football, I will be happy for him.
Prof, you think he should come back?
No, personally, I've heard him in interviews say that the mafias are still at the FA. So he won't come. The people who plotted his downfall, some of them are still there. He's done with Ghana football. He thinks that football has done so much to him. I remember he saying that, in fact, football has sent him to the remotest of places. And he mentioned a certain place in Colombia. It's in Colombia. He said, because of football, I've been there. So I think if you look at him, for now, maybe he's looking at our main politics. He tried to contest for the Jesus seat. The primaries he lost. So clearly, I think that his attention is moving into mainstream politics. But who knows? Maybe somebody will be able to convince him to come back, because as we sit here, Infantino is about to go. If Infantino goes, who replaces him? And these are things that he can relaunch his football political career. Within the international space. Maybe he will not be interested in coming back to come and run the Ghana FA. Because really, where he was heading straight to FIFA, not even CAF.
The pinnacle.
So yeah, I mean, but we can only be happy for him. We wish him all the best. We wish him well. We hope that perhaps this court case having been dispatched with, probably they will look at making an appeal on the 15-year ban and then see whether it can be totally reduced. And
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I just want to wish a very big happy birthday to a very good friend, Kilopatra Budu. She's celebrating her birthday today. I want to wish her all the good things in life. May God grant her more blessings this year, and may everything that she wish for herself come to pass.
Amen. That's our show for today. Thank you so much for joining us for Team Talk and making the show part of your day. My name is Princeton Wiredu. You heard from Felix Romak and Prof. Disampons. Up next is news at 1 and then at 2 continues. Stay tuned.
Oh my goodness. Lionel Messi does it again.